Everybody's looking for running backs via trade, via the waiver wire on the cheap so they can fill the back end of their roster so they can get another running back to fill in on their lineup so they can play the matchups with. One running back to look at from week 1 is Tank Bigsby. He looked good on the field. He looked good with his carries. We're going to do a deep dive on him today to see whether or not you need him for fantasy football. But what you need to do right now is click that subscribe button because we're talking about these players doing these deep dives every day. We're going over the data. We're going over what's happening. We're going over the rankings. We're going over the analytics to see whether or not you need the player for fantasy football, waiver wire, guys trending, guys rising the roster, guys falling down the roster. We're also using videos to help you set your lineups. We're covering the waiver wire deep every single day. Click that button. Stop missing out. But Tank Bigsby looked good. He had some good runs last week, and he is a hot topic right now, especially off the waiver wire. A lot of people picked him up. A lot of people are looking to pick him up. Waiver wires run Tuesday night, Wednesday night. It's different in different leagues, so I make sure I'm just always talking waiver wire. Tank Bigsby, though, we're going back to college because he was productive early, and when you're productive early in college is an indicator that there's a prerequisite here that you could potentially transition quickly to the NFL level. Also, 2022 is final year. 4.16 yards after contact per attempt, 740 yards after contact on the season. Good in open space, breaking tackles, 61 missed tackles forced, 970 yards rushing, 1,100 yards a year prior. He's just always been productive behind a bad offensive line at Auburn in the SEC. Double-digit touchdowns last 2 years there. Just looking good there. Slow season last year, but Tank Bigsby was drafted in the 3rd round to not be the guy, but be the guy with or behind Travis Etienne. His specs ain't nothing amazing, but he's a guy to get it between the tackles, and that's what he showed out on Sunday. He wasn't productive last year. That's why a lot of fantasy gamers left him for dead, and they did. He was a 16th round selection, underdog fantasy, and now he's turning things around. He was not a trendy running back. We saw him on the field last year, and it wasn't looking good, but the practice reports were looking good. The highlights from training camp were looking good. Tank Bigsby, in the first half of Sunday's game, just 4 touches. It started off slow. In the 3rd quarter, with about 5 minutes and 26 seconds left, he ripped off a 26-yard run. During that time, he had just 6 carries. After that, he reeled off the rest of them. He earned more carries. So that lets us know if he starts hitting on some runs, they're going to keep him out there and allow him to get the opportunity and allow him to get that work. And also, since he was able to rush for 73 yards, 6.1 yards per clip, he might have earned more touches right now by default going into next week. So we might see more workload. Now Travis Etienne can be more fresh for the latter half of the season. And now if something happens to either one of these running backs, they're still good to go. They still got a running back. You look at the game script here, and they were up early on the Dolphins. They had the lead, so that allowed them to start things off with Tank Bigsby. You would look at that, but he really didn't start getting the workload until he ripped off that 26-yard run, because after that, late in the 3rd quarter, he reeled off 6 more carries, and now you're looking at his carries here. 0 to 5 yards, he had 7 carries. 5 to 10 yards created, he had 3. He had a 17-yarder and a 26-yarder. Travis Etienne beat him on opportunity share, 33% to 27%. Rushing attempts, they tied at 46%. So again, they were splitting the workload. Travis Etienne was getting the money touches in the passing game. He had 3 targets, a 16% target share, which is damn good for a running back. He should be used in the passing game. He's very electric in open space. They got 2 different running backs that can be used in different ways. Watching his 26-yard run here, very good. Good vision, good pop. On top of that, good contact balance. Watch him find the hole, slip in there. Boom. Like, you got to come at him correct. Keeps his feet. Good contact balance. This is a very good running back who's looking good. Then you look at the rest of the waiver wire here, and you're like, there really isn't much here. There really isn't much here to look at. There's some guys I can speculate on. And some of these guys are already rostered. You're looking at Tank Bigsby. He's in an offense that's fast-paced. He's got a quarterback that pushes it downfield. He's sharing the backfield, but he is showing to get some opportunities. He's a guy to stash to see what happens with. He's a good stash. He's on a good team. He's going to be getting opportunities, it looks like. And on top of that, something happens to Etienne. He's going to get the workload. He's going to be the guy. He's already proven that right now with the touches. So he's a good lottery ticket for the back end of your bench. And you might want to play around with him too in DFS lineups if you want to be on the cheap. But you don't need him. The running back waiver wire sucks. And you may like the running backs you got. You're stacked with lottery tickets. But you do need him because you need another stash. He's not a starter yet. For fantasy, he's not a starter yet. Not a guy you can depend on. But he's a good stash right now due to the situation, due to his ability to get some touches, sharing the backfield. And if you're really decimated soon, that might be something you're looking at. He's a guy that you don't absolutely need, but in certain situations, if you're looking for a lottery ticket, you didn't pick up one, you're hurting at wide receiver, and you're going to dump some wide receivers, and you're looking for a lottery ticket running back, this is a guy that you can look at. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.